Hi guys, this is Alpha Lorraine with Divine Goddess Healing. I'm here today to talk about my personal experience with the recent energy shifts we've experienced over this past month. A lot of major transformations have taken place in my world that have really brought me to a deeper to look deeper within myself and to search deeper for my inner strength and peace and happiness throughout all of the cosmic events that have occurred in my journey. So I haven't really been posting any tarot readings lately due to my call to go back inwards and focus more on really working on self-love and healing and taking care of more practical matters as well. When let's see, the end of March, a lot of things happened that were very chaotic, and one of them being my mom became ill. She had been dealing with a lot of health issues for years that she kind of turned a blind eye to, as far as her diet and habits that really took a toll on her, her stomach, her system in many ways. And so it all kind of came to a head one night. And before then, everything was completely fine. My world seemed to be going pretty great. I was getting things in order. And this night, everything took a turn for the worst. And so my mom ended up in the hospital. And I wasn't home. I was actually at a friend's house. And I had been drinking. I had planned to stay the night. So normally I would not leave under any circumstance. And I was contacted saying that my roommate let me know that my mom was not doing well. And obviously they didn't know I had a few drinks, but they were, you know, they knew I needed to come home so I could, you know, follow them out to the hospital. She had called the ER and they drove her out. And so I go in complete panic mode and left, and felt like I was sober enough to drive. And it hit me while I was driving. I realized I am not okay to drive and I needed to pull over. And I was frantic and got lost. And so there was no cars anywhere near me, but I wanted to wait until I saw a safe shoulder to pull off on because I was losing control of my vehicle. So I saw a shoulder and I literally was losing control as I was pulling off of the road. And so my tire hit I think it was a fire hydrant, and my tire blew out. But I was off the road. I turned the car off and contacted my roommate. They couldn't figure out how to find me, and but they came searching for me. And at this point, my mom was in the ER, and so it was a terrible night. They couldn't find me, so I knew the only thing for me to do was to call the police. They found me, and of course they took me in. At this point, when they came, I knew I was in a place of surrender. I just knew I was safe, and that they would be able to, get me to safety. Like, I would rather be taken to jail than to be out there stranded, not knowing where I was, and have some stranger, stop and find me. And, I just knew at this point, whatever happened, I would be fine. I was divinely guided. I just felt safe no matter what. So I ended up getting arrested that night. And there's just these several turns of events that just kept happening from one thing to the next. And so I knew that I was being called to face myself. And my biggest fear was actually, that happening. That, me drinking and my mom getting ill, and, me not being able to, be sober enough to take care of the situation, or and that happened. So I was being faced with my own fears and my helplessness, because in this situation, the turns of events that kept happening, every time someone wanted to help the other person, we were all separated and isolated. And it showed me my inner healing that I need more with, with drinking. Even though I don't do it often, it's still obviously an issue if I'm at a place where I'm unable to be relied on, but also, my mom was faced with her own issues. I wasn't able to be there for her like I wanted to be that whole week. She was in the hospital for 5 days, and I was without my car because of the situation. I'd popped a tire, so it was towed. I had to get it out of, the tow. I had to find a lawyer, which, literally, I had just filed for my taxes, and I was pleasantly surprised that I was actually going to get a return. And of course, all this work and money I invested is having to go to this lawyer just to help with, my own situation that I created out of, just, it was a situation that could have been avoided. It was several small mistakes that created bigger issues that we couldn't do anything about. And so that whole week I had to get rides just to see my mom, so I didn't get to be there with her as much as I wanted to. I had to get rides to work. And by the end of the week, my mom passed away, which was very unexpected. So she had stomach issues. She smoked, so they found a partial pneumonia in her right lung. They thought she had diverticulitis, but then they found a large ulcer that they think was the cause of her pain. But they also found a spot on her liver that they said was like nothing they'd ever seen before, but they, for some reason, didn't see it as a concern to look into. But yet they also we were getting told different things all the time. One nurse said that my mom had liver failure, and another one said that it wasn't quite there, but they couldn't give us any answers the whole time. And I felt that they should have been more proactive about running the tests and CAT scan. They didn't run a CAT scan they didn't run one at all. They were gonna make her do an MRI the day she died. They told her she was gonna be probably being able to come home that day. And she couldn't do the MRI because she couldn't hold her breath long enough. Well, I visited her right before all these things went down. So me and my aunt visited her, and she was in pain, but I was pretty much thought that, the doctors had everything under control, that they were going to, figure out the next thing to do to, really find the issue. And so I know she was very tired, so I left thinking maybe she could get some sleep, because she was complaining about that every time she'd fall asleep, she'd get woken up, or, so I wanted her to get some rest. So we left, and literally, on the way home, I saw a license plate that said Mom on it, and I didn't think much of it, but I thought it was odd because literally the day after she was admitted to the hospital, the same thing happened. I saw a license plate that said Mom after I picked my car up from the tow lot, and it was a different car too. It's totally weird. So just odd, but I didn't think anything of it. Came home, I ate because I hadn't really eaten much that day, and my roommate calls me, and the doctor had called him because he was listed as the emergency contact for some reason. So they had contacted him and said that they had admitted her to the neuro ICU. So he comes to pick me up, and we're driving out there, and then they call us back and said that he handed me the phone, and they said, your mom's heart stopped. And I said, what? That was the last thing I expected to hear. And apparently they didn't tell us they couldn't really give us much answers at all, but so we were trying to drive out there, and literally it's pouring down rain, there's traffic everywhere. I mean, it's just like there's just stalls and detours everywhere we're going. Like, we couldn't get there fast enough. And but we get there, and so my mom basically had coded twice, which we didn't find out till days later. But the second time she coded, she was in code for 30 minutes. And so they were able to bring her back, but she was completely unresponsive. And she was in this state for several hours. And luckily, we were able to contact all of the family, and everyone came out, and we were able to be there with her during her last few hours and talk to her and, say our goodbyes. And she passed away that night. And so it's been just such a very interesting experience. And I'm a very spiritually strong person, so the whole experience as it's happening, I was in complete surrender, because I knew, there's no way to deny what is happening. It's happening, and I just have to allow it, and I can't resist what is taking place. And so I did what I felt was best, and I tried to remain strong while I was in her presence, because I do feel that she could sense our presence, and I wanted her to be at peace, even though she obviously had gone through immense pain, and I didn't want her to worry. And so I talked to her, and I told her that that everything was okay, and that she had nothing to worry about, and that she did everything right, as a mother. And, basically that we'll always be together, and that, that nothing she did was in vain, and she had she had a lot of low self-esteem, and she just had a lot of insecurities, and I wanted to instill in her that, she was loved, and that she didn't have to prove it. She didn't have to prove it to anyone, that she was, perfect just the way she is. And, it has just been quite the teaching experience to go through this. And my dad was there that night. They've been divorced for over 15 years, and or about 15 years, and it really was hard for him, and I've had a lot of issues with him since then, and he has a lot of healing to do, and he projects a lot of his wounds onto everyone around him, the ones that are trying to be the most supportive. And I've always tried to be, the number one person to be supportive, and it's been very hard. He's projected a lot onto me, and since has threatened to take me to court, and has threatened accusing me of having done something to cause this, and he's gone in complete denial with his behavior, and so I've had to distance myself from him. Literally, just anything you could think could go wrong, all these things just were going wrong out of nowhere. And throughout that experience, I really had to learn to let go. I had to learn to let go of control of everything and just find my inner peace. And throughout all of that, the situation was so transformational and amazing in a almost a bittersweet way. I know the day after my mom passed, I saw another license plate that said hugs on it. And that whole next day, I felt like she was with me. And literally, even though all these things were going wrong, I had so much love and support from everyone around me. And I've never experienced so much love in my life. And since then, every step of the way, through all of the chaos, I've just felt like I've been under so much complete grace. And I've had people helping me with anything I needed help with. There was someone there to help me with something, or to pay for something, or, and it was just incredible. I felt my mom's presence throughout it all, her still being with me. And it helped to keep me strong and to continue to move forward. And I am saying all of this to really show you guys that even in the midst of all the chaos in your world crumbling around you, that there is a higher purpose for it. I do believe my mother, her time on earth was over, and I believe she chose that because she was not happy, and she was not fulfilled, and she was in a lot of pain. And I feel that she sacrificed that so that she could be closer to me. And because she felt trapped in this world, and now that she is free, I feel there's this sense of there's just so much divine work at play in my life, and it meant more to her than anything to be able to make me and my brother happy, you know, to see other people happy. That's all she wanted. It was so hard for her to receive, and that's what I'm trying to learn in this journey, is receiving. As divine feminines, we've learned through all of our karmic connections that we've made on this earth that we've had to become providers for other people, and we think we're being nurturing, but we've taken on these masculine roles that have gone against our soul truth. And the more we resist, the more these situations are unfolding to reflect us back to our inner selves. And so if the more you continue to resist the process of coming into your truth, the universe is going to manifest this one way or another. And that's okay too. And that sounds terrible, but in a spiritual sense, we are blind from taking certain paths at certain times for a reason. And so it is all in divine accordance. And so whether we choose to do something one way or not, the universe will act if we don't. And it will force us to face our truth and the things we need to work on, and to build our strength from within, to look within, and to harness our inner peace and our true joy in the moment, and not taking for granted what we have. And I'm really coming into this learning and this knowing about the truth of the roles that we have, the stories that we've adapted ourselves to that really don't belong to us. We're being asked right now to shift completely, because internally we know the truth now, and there's no hiding from it. And the longer we are hiding from that truth, it is going to be revealed to us. And I have always been a person who, on my own personal journey, I have always trusted the universe to deliver. No matter how it looked, I knew that that was what was meant for me. And when that happens, those things are never easy, but they're always necessary into evolving you into your higher consciousness. And so now, divine feminines, we are being asked to undo and release all of these things that we've learned. We've learned to become our own magicians, to be the doers, and now we're being asked to let all of that go and to learn to receive, so that we can actually receive our deepest, highest truth. So beyond all of this, what are the things that really make me happy? You know, and it's self-worth. It's knowing that I don't have to do anything to be worthy of receiving my birthright, the things that I know that make me happy, that I know are meant for me, and I don't have to chase after those things. And for me, my highest, joy has always been love. It's always been romance. But that has been my biggest issue in life. Because I've always been in situations that weren't equal and were unrequited, in a sense. And so I've always been, brought up to be independent and not have to rely on anyone and take care of myself and not to rely on a man. I was never really shown, by my parents the proper way of dating or what to expect from a man. And although I did have, other adult figures who tried to instill in me the values of dating and what to wait for in a partner, it didn't resonate with me. I always just saw myself as very spiritual. But sometimes when you are in a place of spirituality, you are connecting to a person that is going to show up as that, but they are going to reflect back to you what they can't provide for you or what they can't give you. And it's a reflection of what you believe your worth is. And so I'm learning now my solid truth and what I want to actually crystallize in my reality in its wholeness. And I'm realizing what I have to let go of and surrender in order to receive the things that are going to bring me true fulfillment, and not from a place of settling. Because a lot of times when we get in these soulmate connections, we are faced with tests that will make or break you. And when you have an open heart, but you have no boundaries, you're constantly allowing anything to come in. And the things that come in are only going to be a reflection back to you of what do you really want? What is your truth? And so throughout all these experiences, I think we are being shown our worth and what's worth putting up with and what we need to let go of. And I've also been dealing with issues like that with my twin flame, who I've known for about 3.5 years. And I'm really learning how to let go of it is such a heart connected connection that was a reflection of my soul truth, but not in its highest form, because it has brought up a lot of inner wounding and continues to go deeper into that all the time. And so what I am seeing with that is my inability to become the person, or my inability as of yet to really face my truth and step into my power role and of my self-worth, and not caving in to anything less. And so these things are all really reflecting back to me these deep inner wounds that I've yet to face. And I know it just wasn't the right time, until now, because I see more of what I didn't see before. And I know it's the right time because globally, we are all going through this together in some form or another. We are all being asked to face our own truth and to heal ourselves. We can't heal others. You can, but you can't heal others who aren't willing to heal themselves. And that's the thing. And that is the thing with partnerships too, is, these connections will no longer work now if both people are not willing to face their truth and to see their worth. And so we're just being asked to surrender. And the more you fight it, the more you have these attachments of trying to be there for one another or help, or to force situations to occur, the more the universe is going to pull you apart from other people who are wounded. And because we're meant to really do the work ourselves, and we're all only reflections of that. And it's kind of like, I picture a Chinese finger trap, it's like you put your fingers in, or you and someone else, and you get stuck, so like you freak out and you're like, oh my god, I gotta get untrapped. So you pull harder, and then it tightens up. And when you surrender, when you let go, it becomes loose naturally, and you can just softly pull yourself out. And so that I'm seeing is how the energies are really becoming and manifesting, are, whatever is still wounded in us that we are holding on to is going to get more restricted and more intense and painful and powerful and big, until we can let these things go that we need to, that are no longer serving us, the things that we thought kept us safe. But really they're... Alright, sorry guys, we got cut off there, and we'll probably get cut off again, so I do want to wrap this up. But I was so deep in the middle of my thought, but I really believe that, we are being called to let go completely, let go of everything that we are holding on to for protection, because really what you are using to protect yourself is actually keeping you from the thing you really want the most. And so we're being asked to face our fears right now, and to really see things in a different perspective, and to have more self-love. And so as divine feminines, we're really being asked right now to stand in our truth and our power. And although we have such a great power to heal and to love, we're being asked to give it to ourselves. And that is one of the hardest things for us empaths to learn to do. But the more you can call your energy back inward, you are drawing in your true soul family. Throughout this whole experience that I have learned to let go and to trust that the universe is conspiring in my highest good. I have had so much love and support and help from everyone around me. I never imagined that so many people would care about me, and it's really shown me, it's really helped to rebuild a lot of connections and relationships I've had with especially my own family that I was never as close to. I never thought we would be that close, and now we're really close, and friends that I haven't spoken to in a long time were the ones that were so quick to step up and help. And it's amazing to see people of like minds and hearts come together for you in such a way when you can release and let go, and they automatically understand where you're coming from, and you don't have to apologize for anything. You're just automatically in a place of resonance, and it's such an amazing world to come into. And so I believe the more that we stand in our truth and our power and our knowing, and release the expectation of how it comes in, but to no longer settle and no longer to allow ourselves to cave in to any type of situation that is below our own value, we are raising the vibrations of everyone and everything around us, and we are literally changing the format of the earth. And so although it is very scary to see the unknown and see all of these natural disasters happening around us, I have been safe the entire time, and we have to trust that when we are in our highest truth and our value, that we are divinely protected no matter what, and provided for, and that what is meant to be will be, and that who is meant to be in our lives will be there. We can no longer allow ourselves to hold ourselves back out of fear that people are not capable of meeting us where we stand, because when you know your true worth, others reflect that, and they know their true worth, and they can meet you there. So let your guards down, surrender, and hold your value high where your truth is. And so that is the big message for today. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and there will be an interview with Jessica Alstrom sometime here soon. So I'm really excited, looking forward to that. I've been taking her mentorship program. I was probably the last slot that she had available for her one-on-one mentorship, so it's such a honor to be able to work with her, because she's helped me so much with really understanding myself, and in her methods of quantum healing, she's really helped me deep dive into the subconscious energies of what has really held me back, from my growth, and she's really helping me. She's been such a great reflection for myself to kind of work through and create self-mastery. So thank you so much, Jessica, and I will hopefully be doing some tarot readings soon. So I'm just taking everything as it comes and really doing what I know I need to do in each moment. So I'm just allowing the universe to kind of direct my path. So but hopefully I will get the tarot readings up and running again very soon. So thank you so much, guys, and I love you, and stay blessed, and let me know in the comments what you think about this video. I really wanted to be raw and truth and authentic and very transparent, because I know that the more we can be our honest, true selves, that is how we can really connect with one another and bring out true healing. Because, you know, we can't heal someone if we haven't been there. And trust me, I've been through so much, and I'd love to do more videos about my own shamanic journey experience and a lot of the healing and my own things that I have conquered in my lifetime, so that you really know, you know, that we're in this together, and that I will help you through it too, that I will hold space for you, and that hopefully my testimony can be a reflection of your inner truth and spark that light for you to stand in your power. So I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.